What's up, beautiful people?
What's going on, everyone?
Hey. It is another wonderful weekend. We are recording this on 4/20/2024, and we have a wonderful guest for you all today. I'm going to let E introduce her, but the couple of minutes that I've had to speak with her, she is a young phenom who has done a lot in her short life. Makes me feel old, makes me feel like I need to step it up a little
You
bit.
is old.
Yeah, I'm 10 years over her, so yeah, I definitely need to catch up. But it's definitely an inspiration to have such a go-getter, such a transformative person on this podcast
Woo!
that went from
Powerhouse.
med school essentially to money school to teach you how to
Mm,
save your financial life versus to teach you how to save your physical life. So that's all the little tidbit I'm gonna give y'all.
right.
Is gonna give y'all some more of her highlights, but her name is Tiffani Herron, and I can't wait to bring her up on this stage, man.
But before we do, we need to make sure you all share this video out, share this audio out. If you on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you're listening to us, if you're watching us, share this out. This is a powerhouse, and I'm telling you, like, this is if you have young inspiring queens, this is one right here that you need to follow for sure. And you can do that in the banner. You see the at Tiffani Herron. Go out there. She has the blue check. She's legit, website. Everything is out there. Hit her link tree up. But yeah, and you can find this, of course, at WTFMA.com, where you need to go out there. That's the site. We rocking it, and it's getting better and better every time. But y'all don't want to hear us just keep talking about our stuff. We're gonna bring Tiffani out here because she definitely gonna make the screen look better than these two bald heads. Hey, beautiful, how you doing, Queen?
What's up, Tiffani?
I am doing wonderful. How are y'all?
Hey,
Oh
wonderful
man,
and amazing.
blessed to have you on here. So before we even jump into the conversation, I want to definitely give you some accolades. I had to write these down. There's so many of them. But this is Tiffani, and she and I met in Atlanta, which was a dope lunch and an event. But she's a podcast host for Exceptional Conversations. She's a financial educator, coach, speaker, helps you to create wealth in 3 different ways, teaches you how to become your own bank, former medical drama surgeon, real estate expert from the West Coast, West Side in the house, the Cali girl, Miss Tiffani Herron. Hey, and you know what? I struggle with your last name because of heroin. And it's like, man, I don't want to say that, but that's your name, and it's not heroin, you all. It's Herron. I might even be pronouncing that wrong, but if I left anything out, Tiff, please let the people know more about you, how they connect with you. And we like to do this at the beginning of the podcast because we know the attention span of some of you all out there is so short that we got to drop all her stuff immediately, and then we'll get into the conversation because some of y'all be timing out after 45 seconds. But we still appreciate you giving us that view. But for those that may not make it to the end, we want to definitely give you the platform to shout out any events, books, whatever you want to talk about. Kick us off.
Yeah, absolutely. So I also created basically the first financial literacy conference of this kind called LegacyCon in LA. So it's going to be an annual event sometime this November in 2024. If you love conferences and you love, learning anything about financial literacy, whether it comes to real estate, economics, you name it, it is the time and the place to be in the building. And it's for the people, by the people. So
Yes.
check that out at the LegacyCon. And then you can also follow me, my name on all platforms at Tiffani Herron.
Ooh, I want to be at that LegacyCon. I might, I need to speak to them about how to make money with grants and not-for-profits and stuff. So, it's a lot of them that need to hear that, but I'll send you my booking agent's number. But no, I'm joking.
Let me know when
I'm
you
always
speak to
there
him.
for you, Queen, if ever the call is made.
Yeah, so Tiffani, so I'm gonna get into the question about the LegacyCon later, but before we get into the nuts and the bolts of the conversation, what is your formula to success? Whatever you consider success. It doesn't have to always be money. It can be happiness. It can be peace. it can be health. Yeah, just what is your formula to whatever you consider success is? And if you don't mind, really quick, what do you consider to be success while we're at it?
What I consider to be success, honestly, and I tell everyone that it looks different for everyone. There is no set like box of what success should look like or should feel like. So my version of success is me being in a place of freedom, peace, and joy. Having time freedom and having financial freedom. That's success for me. That's my outline of success. Being able to take care of my family. Being able to not have to worry about anything or look at my checking account every time I'm going to the grocery store to make sure I have enough dollars to pay for my food. That is success to me. And to begin a successful morning, in order to create that freedom, that joy, and that peace in my life, I consider my morning to be one of my most prized possessions in my day. Yes. Because how I start my morning is how my day is going to end up. And so I heard this thing from Damon John that the first 90 minutes of your day is the most powerful, and that should be the most intentional time of your day. So I don't talk to anybody in the first 90 minutes of my morning. I talk to myself. I talk to God first. The first thing when I open up my eyes, I say, thank you for another day. I'm so grateful. And then I talk to myself. I do journaling, meditation. I read. I even just take a moment to be in silence and just look out in nature and look at the sun. And it creates that abundance. I am already abundant. And then it creates that sense of freedom. I am free, that sense of peace and that sense of joy. So that is success to me. No amount of money could ever amount to that.
Big facts, man. That's a mic drop.
Yeah.
I think the podcast over after she just said that, bro. Like,
absolutely. Ooh. And I want to jump in there and ask you a bunch of questions real quick, but I didn't want to cut your flow and everything. But one follow-up question that I do want to ask you is, when did you adopt the mindset that you have? Because that's such a wise way to go about doing things. Most people that's in their mid-20s are on some other time, like they're on some other stuff. So as far as waking up, putting God first, and being intentional about talking to yourself next, and then keeping all the distractions out of your way until you get honed in and focused on what you want to do for the day. How did you come up with that mindset, or who inspired you to have that type of mindset to be like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely not my parents. They're hardworking individuals, but they didn't wake up every morning. Sometimes if they we're on the wrong side of the bed, they would call it, right? Then you wouldn't want to catch them on a morning like that. But they're just human. And so if the information is not provided in my environment, which it was not, I invested in myself and in books. I started being curious. I started listening to other people who, at the time, I thought a success point was monetary. So I started listening to people who had, the big bucks, and listening to their podcasts. And then that's when that mindset shift started happening. So if you don't put the information in, you're not going to obtain it. You're not going to have it. And my dad taught me the difference between being ignorant and stupid. Ignorant, if you're an ignorant person, it means that you simply don't have the information. You just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. That's ignorance. That's true ignorance. And I'm not a person who likes to be of ignorance. I'm very curious, inquisitive, and I'm always in search of new information. And so that is how I started to develop that mindset. I read my first book, or my first personal development book, was Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I'm sure you both have read.
That was my first.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then I read another book called The Slight Edge, which was about the daily habits, or the things that you do on a daily basis. For example, brushing your teeth, making up your bed. These things are easy to do, but they're also not so easy to do. They're the easiest things are also the hardest things to do. Yet if you don't do these things that are easy every single day, what happens is it compiles, and you just make your path much harder by not doing those things every single day. So,
and your breath stink in the process.
Exactly. Now you got halitosis. Now you got all kinds of things going on. So that's how I developed the mindset. I started feeding myself.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I love the Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Like, Hey, hands down, top 5 book for me of all times. And it really shifted my whole perspective of what Rich and Poor was, because I had no clue. I was so used to poor that I didn't know what rich was. And what I thought rich was because a lot of people are financially wealthy and they're sick. They're not, they're really poor. They just have a few dollars. But we keeping it upbeat. We got a youngster in the room. I love you. Still a Zoomer? Yeah. Dimitri is
so.
that millennial. Yeah, he the millennial. Yeah, we skipping that generation. Millennials. Like. But no, I love the fact that you are so young and you're such a powerhouse. So for those that may be thinking, man, I've seen her before. She was on the podcast when we had the International Women's Day, Women's Month, last month, when we had all the ladies on there, and Miss Tiffani was definitely there. We met in Atlanta at a conference, and we were in the VIP section for lunch. And I had never met Tiffani, and then I was speaking, so I was all over the place. And we finally got a chance to sit down for lunch, and I sat next to her. And I was like, man, this little baby, she's a youngster, but then I listened to her, I'm like, damn, she knows some things. What? Most times you sit next to somebody that's half your age, literally half my age, and you just talking with them. I'm trying to eat. I couldn't even finish my food. I'm like, well, damn, she got some juice over here. Like, I ain't know they was doing it like that in Cali. But no, and ever since then, the Queen has been supportive of the show, of what we're doing. She's introduced me to people. It's been great getting to know you more and more and seeing your passion and what you do from a speaking perspective, from the coaching, I know you do real estate, you do life insurance, like you got your hands into a lot of things. How are you balancing your life? Or, as I think, I don't even believe in balance, but that's my take on life. Because if you want balance, then you want, when things are balanced, they stand still. My stuff is doing this all the time. I don't want no balance, but how do you manage to corral everything with all, because I know there's so many great thoughts and ideas that pop up every day in your brain, and you already got a lot going on. Like, how do you manage that?
You made a good point. There is no such thing as balance. And people think that consistency looks like, I guess the best analogy I could give it is where, just say you have 7 days in a week, seven glasses, and they're all filled with water. People think that consistency looks like the glass is always full on each day. But it's not. It's not. And what consistency and balance actually looks like is some days I might have a full glass, other days it might be at 20%, then it might be empty, then it might be half full. So for me, there's really no such thing as balance, but there is a such thing in my life as organization and time blocking, and being intentional with my time and intentional with my conversations and people, and et cetera, et cetera. So that's what it really is behind the scenes.
That's that WTF, Dimitri. Winning takes focus.
You gotta focus. You absolutely have to focus. And that's a good segue to my next question, is that with all of the different things that you have going on, like how are you able to focus, or how were you able to get to this point where you're balancing, I hate the word balance since we just talked about it, but you're juggling all these different ventures and different occupations that you have? How did you get to the point where, like, they're all to the point where they're mature to where you can juggle those to where they're actually thriving and living businesses and everything? How did you get to that point at a young age? I'm just curious, because
it's mind blowing.
Yeah, man. Like, really, man,
you are a phenomenon. For real. Like, I haven't met anyone your age that's on your level of maturity when it comes to business and just even your elegance and how you speak and how you carry yourself. And like, for those out there, make sure you check out her IG, all that. She got some videos and she has fun with it. And it's still elegant at the same time, and classy, and just like, yeah, I ain't trying to change the question, but it's just like me and Demetri are mind blown right now. So I apologize because it's like, man, it's but what's the secret to your sauce?
Yeah.
What's the secret to my sauce? I'm telling you, it's the formula. That's the secret. It's the formula. And you know, I did not used to think that taking care of myself first was the formula. I used to think that always taking care of others first was. And what I mean by that is pouring into myself first so that I can have a cup that overflows. And then when I'm pouring into others, it's not draining. It's not emptying me. So that's why, you know, I'm able to be energetic all the time. That's why I'm able to, you know, simply walk with confidence and not be depleted in my day-to-day when I'm being social, because I've poured into myself and now I have an abundant amount to give.
Yes.
And so going back to the balance, it's really that, like when you start your morning at a great point and at such a high point, anything could happen in the day and it won't really faze you as it would have if you didn't start your morning in that way.
Ooh, them daily habits, bro. Like she touching on what we talk about all the time, man. So for those listening and watching this, remember your daily habits is going to determine everything in your life. It's not going to be the market. It's not going to be what this person said or that person. How you start your day is going to determine how your day is. And you may have some lucky days where it's, I had a great day, and you started off bad. But most days when you started off thinking, man, I got to deal with this traffic. I got to deal with this. I got to deal. And you laying in bed already creating a doom, like what you expect. So what she's saying, create you a great morning, carve out that time for yourself, because the number one investment is you. It's not no other market at all. The number one market is you to invest in. And as you invest in yourself, you get these compound interests within and watch how things start to flow. But I wanted to make sure that our listeners and our viewers caught that, because, you know, they'd be a little slow, a little remedial sometimes. And you got to tell them a few things, and I got to smack them around like, no, did you hear what the girl just said?
Man, I talk about that often, man, about pouring from an empty cup and how you can't do it, you know, because, you know, and Tiffani broke it down, you know, simply because, you know, if you're not pouring into yourself first and making sure that you're full, then how can you give to others? So even though people at home that's listening, you all may have a big heart and that you want to help the entire world, you know, our resources are limited, i.e. our energy and our time. All right. So we have to make sure that we are not only focusing our outputs strategically, but we have to make sure that we're being intentional about pouring into ourselves so that we can help those that we are aiming to help. And going along that vein even more about the Legacy Con, who are you helping with the Legacy Conference? And you said it's the first of its kind. How is it the first of its kind?
Tell us about
Beautiful question. Beautiful question. And I want to touch on something real quick.
Sure.
The beauty of delegation. You said you cannot pour from an empty cup because of your energy and your time. We're limited on those resources. Absolutely. And so there's beauty in delegation in order for you to create some sort of balance, however you see that being fit in your life. But when you delegate, and it's not from a standpoint of being controlling, simply a standpoint of requesting support. That used to be something else that was difficult for me, to request support. No, I got it. Like, I can do it and attempt to do everything on my own. You're only limited to being able to do so much. And so when you have the support of a team, there's power in a team. You can grow and you can go much faster and further along with a team. It is very, very true, 100,000%. So don't try to do everything on your own. You know, request support and have a team. And I got to really, really experience that and allow that to flourish when I developed the Legacy Conference. So the Legacy Conference is the first of its kind in LA. I'm not even going. I'm not even going. I'm not even going to lie or fib on where I got the inspiration from. I went to InvestFest last August 2023. And did y'all go to InvestFest?
No, I didn't go.
Y'all weren't there? Okay, it's amazing. It's amazing. So it was in Atlanta in August, and for anybody that knows that network, they know that they talk about a lot of financial topics and discussions. And there were over 20,000 people there. I'm looking at I'm walking into the room, and it's just massive the amount of people that were in there, and about a good 98% looked like you and I had never seen anything like that in my life up until that point. And so it was also the energy. Like, I'm very big on energy, and I know how the energy is when I can walk into a room, and the energy was very collaborative. It was very conspiring. It was very almost like formulating. And so I said to myself, this is just so beautiful. We don't have anything like this on the West Side. I wonder what it would be like to put something together, where I could bring this type of information to our people on that side. And not just our people, but the underserved communities as a whole. So I thought to myself, I've never put on an event before like that. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know when it was going to happen. I just knew, okay, this is a particular date that, I have as an option, and the how's going to work itself out. God, you're going to do what he needs to do.
That's right.
So that inspired me to put that together. And then when you have a vision and you start having conversations, things simply just align. I don't know how to explain it, but it literally everything just starts aligning. The first person that I spoke with happened to be someone who throws events all across the country. And nice. I was like, wow, okay, beautiful. And he's like, yeah, and I'm actually looking into becoming a speaker too. So that's how that first conversation went. And then everything else really just was a snowball effect after that. But yes, so it's for the people, by the people, and, bringing all of the good information that, those in Atlanta are blessed to receive, that in LA, we don't receive it so much. So.
LegacyCon. I love the name of it, girl.
It is.
And just think of it, because you got in the room, we always tell people, get in the room. Like, you can watch everything online, but until you get in the room and feel that energy and be around that network, like it makes you almost levitate. Like, I'm telling you, when I'm in those conferences, I feel like I'm not walking on the ground. It's such great energy in the room. And the fact, and you started out like you took that, listen, that ain't their idea. It's a lot of people doing conferences bigger than InvestFest. You saw a model and saw something that you could provide to the people. So don't ever say, well, pay homage that, I got this idea from them, but man, you ain't stole nothing, because ain't nothing new under the sun.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, what you doing on the West Coast is needed, and I know it's going to be successful. When are those dates again? Do you have them? We want to let the people know.
Yes, we don't have a set date yet, but it will be in the fall time in November. So look out for November 2024. And the people want more actually from the LegacyCon. So there are some things that I'm looking into putting in the works, as far as because they're like, we can't wait. You can't make us wait an entire year. We got to have something else in between. So I'm thinking, about what we can do in the meantime, between time. So
they need something virtual, something quick, something valuable, and something virtual. That's what they need. So
they need Mr. WTF and Coach Dimitri on that stage is what they need.
They're gonna have them. They're gonna have them.
That's it. And
that's awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Did you want to say something? I didn't want to hog the questions, man. I'm
man,
excited.
I got a million things to say, because Dimitri is, so that's the difference between me and Dimitri. He stays, to the point and asks the question. I ask crazy shit, so y'all gotta know. Y'all know me. I'm a little off, but we've all been in these circles. So I gotta ask you this, because it's a lot of ladies out here that are dealing with things from these circles. if you get what I'm saying. And one thing about you, when I've seen you in everything that you've done, your head is high, and it's like you don't invite that type of bull crap around you. And so if you were able to give the ladies some pointers out there, because we gonna be 100 you all, because that's what we do in these masterminds. Those energies get to flowing, and some of these people ain't there for all the right reasons, and they shooting they shot, got that old musket out, blasting him off, trying to,
Not
so
the musket, bro.
yeah, that's how old they be. Most
Yeah.
And they come with the best, and these are some wealthy people. It's like you in a room full of wealth, so people are really confident, and they coming at you in all type of ways. So how do you keep that balance, or do you like, hey, what's up, or how do you just keep that type of negative energy around you? Because we live in this cancel culture and people being exposed for all type of craziness. So how do you, what type of advice would you give to the ladies to keep that type of energy away from you?
Yes. Now you talking about negative energy, or like,
no, I don't want to keep no positive energy away from me. I'm talking about the ones on that BS. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Because for a second, I thought you meant in terms of like people there for the wrong reasons, but like to date and stuff like that. Like being flirtatious and stuff.
Yeah. It's that too. Yeah.
Okay. So it's just all negative. Okay.
Yeah. Well, how you keep that garbage away from you? And
yes, absolutely. You have to be secure. You got to be secure when you walk into the room. Secure physically, secure mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm gonna leave the financially part out of it, because that it doesn't even matter. Like, when you're secure in those 4 areas, and I'm secure in those 4 areas, I mean, you could smell the BS from a mile away, number one.
Right.
Number two, because I'm not looking for anybody to fill a certain type of void in any of those 4 areas in my life. Like, I don't need what you're selling, champ. I don't need what you're selling. And so I'm here to have a conversation about how we can collaborate. I'm here to have a conversation about how I can support you in your endeavors of whatever it is that you're doing. But anything else, intention. Intention is going to be the number one thing too. When you have an intention, whatever is outside of that intention, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
For example, when I go to a conference, my intention today is I'm going to meet 3 amazing people, and they're not just going to be, average type people. We're going to be talking about people with some motion, or someone who I can support, help build, or someone where we can mutually support each other. If I have that intention, I know that if I'm in a group of 10 people and they're not talking about anything, I shouldn't be standing here in this group, and I need to go and venture out and talk to somebody else and meet somebody else. So those are some of the ways that I keep my sanity and I stay away from the BS in those types of rooms. If the conversation's going left, I'm going right. Hey, I'm actually I gotta go. I gotta dip. And that's it.
The power of intention. Like,
absolutely.
She dropped the gem, you all. Like, the power of intention is such an energy that, as you stated, it's like they'll run off. They don't want no smoke. Like, put that old musket up and go on about your business. Because when they see you with that power of intention, and you said something, you set your day off. Like, before I even go into this conference, I want to get 3 things. I want to meet 3 people. I want, that's the intention, you all. Not, I'm going to just go and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Then you open yourself up to anything. But say, nope, I want to meet this type of person. If I have a book, I want to meet some book publishers, some other authors and things, but go into the room with intention, and you'll get everything. Like, your cup will run over. But when you don't, you open yourself up for the BS. And man, that's one of the things that I can say about Tiffani, is that in my interactions and just watching her do her thing online and all of that, you just don't get that type of energy. And that's because she understands the power of intention. And I think a lot of people, if they would adopt that mindset and really, and as you stated, it goes back to securities and who you are. Because if you own BS, you're gonna find it. But if you own some, man, I'm right here, you're gonna find that too. So great info for sure. But yeah, I had to throw you with a little curve that because the goal is to give people formulas to success. And if the people out there not being successful, you got a lot of people that say, yeah, I went to Invest Fest and then I ain't getting nothing. I went to this conference, this mentorship. I came out, they just trying to get people money. And guess what, you are? There are people there like that. But there's so many more that are not like that. So if you come in there with your intentions right, you will get what I believe in the power of the universe that God created. And if you come in there with intentions and your focus, which winning takes focus, WTF, you're going to get everything that you give. So I love that advice that you gave for the females and the males. Because, we vulnerable too. They be coming at a brother, hey, get back. Like, I don't want what Bernie Mac say. I don't want none of it. I don't want none of it.
Yes. I want to add to that. So just the same as you can smell BS on other people, you said it. They can see when you have intention. They smell when you on your P's and Q's. They know. Right. And so when you walk with that, when you're being that and not pretending, you're actually being that, people know and they don't really come at you sideways. And then the second thing was yes, whatever you're looking for, you will find it. Whether it be that you're subconsciously looking for someone to take your money, it's going to validate that what you have in your mind. Everybody just wants to take my money. Every time I come to a conference, they always selling something. Or if you're looking for the person who is a grant writer or a publisher for this book that you're writing, you're going to find them. So you just attract whatever it is that you're looking for. And so the power of intention is extremely powerful. And yes, the universe is powerful as well.
Woo. Go on, Demetri. Get back to the regular scheduled.
Regular old board, no question. Hey, man, Bumpy, I'm interested in what I'm asking. I'm sure some folks at home want to hear it too. So I'm gonna ask you. It's all good. But no, Tiffani. So some more detail about the different things that you do. So you are a financial educator, and can you kind of lay out exactly what it is that you do for the people so they know what value they can get from listening to your content and signing up for your legacy conference? Like, what are some actionable things that they can expect from you once they connect with you?
Yes, absolutely. So I am a financial educator in so many ways. One of the ways is that I am an insurance broker. So I support people with their future endeavors. We all go someplace at the end of our lifespan, whether that be in a cremation or in the ground. So it's life insurance in specifics. But within life insurance, it's not just for burial. It's also to be used while you're still alive. And there's so many takeaways and different little avenues to that. But cash value policies is one of the ways. And at the end of the day, it's about money. It's about being able to leave a legacy for your family. It's about being able to support yourself income-wise when you're retired. And so that's a part of the financial services sector. And then also coaching and mentorship. A lot of people would tell me, Tiffani, you give the best advice. And it's just me being me. And a couple people told me, you should really be a life coach. I'm like, I don't really want to do that. But, I'll give you some good advice. Like, do you mentor? And for a while I didn't, but now I do. And so I do offer some one-on-one sessions where we can, do mentorship and coaching together. And I can support you in the way that you need to be supported. So it's completely custom to you, your life, your goals. And the three ways that I support people in building wealth within their life is the mental, emotional, and financial standpoints, because all three of those are tied together. The mental, the emotional, which leads to the financial. It's the be, do, have. So people think that you just need to think about making more money. No, that's not true. You need to also think about your belief systems and your mindset around money, because you could say, okay, I earn $5,000 a month. My goal is to earn $15,000. Okay, but when you get to that 15K a month, you're still going to have the same mindset that you had at the 5K a month. And you're going to either wonder why your money continues to be spent the way that it's spent. You're going to wonder why you're still stuck in the same mental wavelength and frequency. It's because you didn't change what was on the inside.
Mm.
You know, when you change the external factor. And so nothing changes if you don't change. Doesn't matter if you have $1 million or $10,000 in your bank account. You can be financially free either way.
Absolutely.
So we get to start there first, and it's all together. It's a trifecta. So coaching, of course, we got the Legacy Con at the Legacy Con on Instagram. In another way that I'm being in support, in that aspect. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, that's so fire, bro. Like, and for you all out there thinking, because I know how some of y'all think. Like, I got the pulse of the people. Some of y'all thinking, how could this 26-year-old young lady tell me something? How's she gonna coach me? How's she gonna mentor me? Shut up! Like, oh, they hurt me when they say that because they think, oh, yeah, there's wisdom in gray hairs. No, they just old. Mm-hmm. That don't mean they wise. Most people that I know that got gray hair, dumb as hell. So no, that ain't got nothing to do with it. She could be my mentor. You know, like with the knowledge that she has, like, man, I want some more of that because we all know the power of mentorship because we know the most valuable asset that we have is time, and mentorship is gonna shorten up that time to success. Or you can go about it the long way, the hard way, and try to figure everything out on your own. And then we'll see you at the top in 20 years while we've been up there for 20 years. But
yeah,
let me be quiet, man. You know, I love mentorship. I love coaching, and I believe in it. And really, you all need to go out there and set up that one-on-one call with her, that consultation, and see she has programs, different things going on, and really get your. Or ain't you tired of things not being right? Somebody right here, 26 years old, has the formula to success that can help you find your formula to success. And you sitting up here talking about she too young for me to listen to. Get on off this, man. Let me mute
Look,
me.
let me share something with y'all. Something my dad always told me. He said, the truth is the truth, and it doesn't matter who it comes from.
Facts.
The truth is the truth, and it doesn't matter who it comes from. Now, there's so many aspects to that. I could be either talking about something truthful, or I could be knowledgeable in something that simply you don't know about. And the second thing that he said, that he tells me all the time, is that, like you said, age does not make a person wise.
Joe don't.
Mm-hmm. Age does not make a person wise. And I had a recent experience with that. I was praising the Lord, and when we were done with our service, there was a lady. She seemed to be about 50 or 60, but she made a very, I don't know if it was an ignorant or a stupid comment, going back to the definition between those two things, but she made a comment, and it wasn't wise what she said. And I told my dad about it, and he was like, look, I got to tell you again, like, just, you could have 20 years, somebody could have 20 years experience praising the Lord and being spiritual and all this and that, but it doesn't make her right, and it doesn't make her wise. Yet, you know, you could be a baby in something and be wise and have wisdom. And so, yeah, so ever since then, I've been an unbiased person in that aspect, and you should be unbiased too. So come on over here with your girl, and let's talk. Let's have conversations.
Hey, Jesus was a baby that came and shook up everything, and they ain't want to hear him like, who the hell is this? Who he think he is? And he started flipping over tables and just acting a fool. Like, y'all, and he was younger than everybody. Like a straight, he's a baby in the school with the wise. So it doesn't age is nothing, because see, you keep saying ignorant because you proper like that in California. We say ignorant.
Ignorant.
Like, most of them is ignorant.
Two syllables.
Yeah, that's a combination of ignorant and stupid is ignorant. And I'm sure what she was saying was based on being ignorant. But that's a great story. And as she say, make sure you all go out there and book this call with her. You got some books and some different things going on. What's your book? You got one yet?
I do. So I have a book. It's called it's basically how to create wealth with both real estate and life insurance, and it's an ebook. I wrote it myself. But it's a gem. I think it's a pure gem because 6 years in real estate from the age of 20 to 26, and I just amassed so much knowledge, and I'm really a sponge. Like, I love being a sponge and just soaking up everything. And people tell me, and I also know that I have this innate gift to be able to take a tomato and give you ketchup. And I say it like that because some people don't like tomatoes. They don't eat tomatoes, but a lot of people like ketchup, and they won't go and pick the tomato, cut it, and all this kind of stuff. They won't, so that's the education. That's me learning and being the sponge. And what you're eating is the ketchup. So, yes, I have an ebook on how to create wealth within real estate and life insurance. And it's me taking both the knowledge of real estate and life insurance and just putting it in one easy to read ABC book for you that you can really finish in an hour. And it's giving you the basics and the steps that you need to be able to take into creating that wealth.
Nice. So so where can people find that? Is that like a link tree link on your Instagram that they can click on and get that?
Yes, it's the direct link in my Instagram bio, or you can go to stan.store, that's STAN.store / Tiffani Herron, my name, Tiffany with an I, and you'll be able to see it there.
Sweet. Nice. So definitely go check that out, y'all. I'm sure it's a banger, and I know y'all have short attention span, so it'll be great for those who can't stay focused too long.
Boy, they struggle. Let me ask you this real quick, Tiffany. I know I'm cutting Dimitri off, but
go ahead.
This trauma surgeon, how in the hell did you go from the medical field of wanting to cut on people to now where I guess you still cutting on people because you got to cut some of them nasty parts off of people's habits. But how did you transition from the medical field and wanting to be a doctor to now I want to be a financial advisor and really help people out, be a speaker, author, and all that? How did that, because the two don't sound alike, but maybe they do, but how did that go?
Yeah, well, like you said, I'm still doing surgery on people. It's emotional surgery and mental surgery.
Right.
But going from the physical aspect, from the age of, I believe, around 9 or 10, actually, my earliest memory of wanting to be a surgeon, I used to dissect insects in the backyard, like dead beetles.
Just straight up nasty.
I would take a little stick and I would do my little inspections, and they were my little surgical cases. And then I learned what type of career that was. But what really added to my decision on that being a part of my vision at the time was the social construct of, go in STEM, be a science, technology, engineering, or mathematics major, be a doctor, lawyer, that kind of stuff. It's early 2000s. Being career conversations are heavily focused, especially in elementary school. Are they still? I'm not even sure the way times have been changing, but so that
don't get me started on school.
Oh my goodness. So that added to my decision, and I stuck with that from the early age all the way up until my junior year of college. I just found medicine fascinating, and I was like, okay, I also get to, I get to check off the box of being either a doctor, engineer, or mathematician, or whatever it is. And I also get to have a stable career and paycheck for myself, and I get to support my family. And so that was a part of my decision. What made me go from wanting to be a trauma surgeon and actually practicing that, because I was in OR and ER with military and civilian doctors and nurses. So what made me go from that field to then real estate, that was a transition in my junior year of high school, was I started listening to a good podcast. They were talking about, real estate portfolios and having multifamily investments. And I thought to myself, this would be amazing if I could establish something like this so that I could have passive income and be able to retire my parents. They don't have retirement set up. And then also my financial aid is running out. So if I get into real estate, I can pay for my school. I can help my mom with some bills. I can, help my dad with retirement and all these different things. And then I get to soak in on all the knowledge on how to get my own real estate portfolio. So I stuck with that for 6 years. And in the first 2 years, it was me still being in school for the whole trauma surgeon and biomedical engineering thing while working in real estate. And then I decided, I said, okay, I'm going to take a leap year, or a gap year is what they call it, I think, where you take a year off in university. So I took a gap year, and that gap year, I started doing well. I started doing well in real estate. And I said, I don't need to go back. I don't need to go back.
Nice.
So as intelligent as I am, I did not get my college degree. And it might be something that I may want to do in the future and finish it off. But honestly, I had a conversation with the school, can I change my biomedical engineering degree after so many years into it? And they said, no, because you're so far into it, you might as well just finish it and become a senior in it. And so a biomedical engineering degree is not something that I want to have. So there's no purpose in that for me. And so from then on, my 6th year of real estate, I'm making this money and I felt unfulfilled. I felt something was missing. And it wasn't the giving away of the keys to someone's home that was the most fulfilling part to me. It was the educational aspect, and it had always been having conversations with people about how you can buy the home, how you can get established, what this looks like for your future and your family, and how you can flip that. And so wrapping it up here, my friend introduced me to an emotional intelligence and leadership program that she only introduced me to the first level, which was a weekend.
Yeah.
And I ended up going from that 3-day weekend on that first level to the third level that they had, which was the legacy program. And that was a total of a 6-month time span. And so within that, I learned the EI, the emotional intelligence part of myself, that I was cold. Oh, I was cold. I didn't have access to my emotions as I thought that I did. And these are all attributes.
Wait a minute, you was cold. What
I was cold.
Like you cold, like what you mean by cold? Like
not
you were
freezing
mean?
Cold, but okay, so this is what makes a surgeon is that they have the ability to stay calm, especially a trauma surgeon, in these chaotic situations. Blood everywhere, and still being able to be calm and just
I'd be hauled up in the corner, scared to death.
Yes. So take that into my personal life. When, for example, my sister passed away in 2015, everybody's going crazy in the hospital, and I was in surgeon mode, or in personal aspect, I was just cold. Didn't really have access to my emotions. I didn't cry at that point. It took me up until her funeral 2 months later where I really just broke down, and everybody was surprised, like, whoa. So that's what I mean by cold. And so I learned that the vision that I had for myself, as far as wanting to be a doctor, being in the Air Force, being the top dog real estate agent, all of those things were not a vision that I had for myself from the inside. It was the outside speaking to me, and I'm saying, okay, this is going to be the right thing to do based off of what people think I should do with my life. So I got clarity on my vision, and I found out my gifts and my strengths. And so with that, I remember I pondered in my office, and I was like, okay, these are my gifts and my strengths. And this is what I want to educate people on. This is how I want to show up in the world. Now, what are the ways that I can work my gifts and my strengths? What's the career path, I suppose, that I can be a part of and really just shine in that, but also be fulfilled? So I wrote down 4 things. I wrote down public speaking. I wrote down coaching, financial advising, and life insurance. And so all of those things matter to me. At that point, that was when it switched to impact over income rather than income over impact.
EIO.
And that is when, yes.
I remember that. Impact over income.
Yeah.
And then that was when everything else just transpired, the legacy conference and, you know, my social media to where it is at now. And that's when all that started coming in. So that was the short version.
Hey, bro, like, did you hear? Now, Dimitri's a new daddy, so I can call him a father now. He finally got that Similac off his breath. But,
I'm not wet behind my ears
yeah,
anymore.
that ear ain't as wet as it once was. Now that he got a son. But the part that I couldn't get past is where you said, I want to do this to help my father retire and take care of my mother. Like, you saying this as a youngster, like, I hope some of my kids watching this, because y'all ain't trying to do nothing for me. And I'm jealous. I want Tiffani. Tiffani, you're gonna be my new adopted daughter in a second. You got to teach the rest of these knuckleheads how to take care of their parents. But no, I love the fact that and it goes back to legacy. That's part of your parents are part of your legacy and everything that you've done. So again, I'm joking, but I love that aspect of how you started the entire conversation by, this is my intentions. This is what I want to do for the people who sacrifice for me coming up. So shout out to your parents. I know they're going to be watching this, and you all have created an amazing young lady, young queen out here who's doing her thing. And man, it's just amazing. So I wanted to give you your flowers before Dimitri take over with some more of these questions.
With some more logical questions that's going to help the audience figure out what they want to do with their life.
They're good questions. They're good questions.
I know, man. Listen, I'm not listening to you. This is for the people.
Right. He don't listen to me at all. Like, he already knows this food is such a say anything. But
man, this is my big brother right here, the big brother that I never had. So all right, Tiffani. So as we come to a close, I got one last question. And
I got one more too, but I'm gonna let Dimitri go first.
Cool, sweet. So you said that that you were able to tap into your gifts and your strengths. So for the people at home, I know that's one of the most pressing things that I've heard in common across many people that I've spoken with in person and online. It's like, I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what I want to do. I want to make money. I want to, like, they end up always chasing the income, as you said, and not the impact. So, and I think the impact comes from you tapping into your gifts and your strengths. So in order for people to eventually get to the income part, they have to create an impact in the people. Basically, they have to serve the people first, like you were doing. So my question is, how were you able to tap into your gifts and your strengths so that you were able to make an impact on the people to then later on get the income?
Yes. So in order for me to have tapped into my gifts, and this is for everybody, you get to say yes to experiences. Say yes to experiences, because if I would not have said yes to experiences, the emotional intelligence training, saying yes to being a real estate agent, saying yes to biomedical engineering, and all these other things, you simply don't allow yourself, you don't give yourself permission to find out what your gifts and your strengths are. So if you just go through the rope, say yes to experiences, you'll learn, okay, I'm actually really good. I'm very analytical. I'm very good behind the computer, or I'm very good at speaking, or I'm very good at getting people advice. Whatever it is, if you don't say yes to experiences, you won't figure that out. You'll simply just be in the house, like, what is it that I'm good at? But you're not giving yourself permission to find that out. So find that out. And that's really just, that's the answer to it. That's the secret. That's the secret to it. And whatever comes natural to you as well. Like, speaking has come natural to me for a very long time, but I didn't realize until last year that it was my gift and my strength. Simply the emotional intelligence training that I did, it's an experiential training. It's not something where they go in and they tell you about you. No, you find out about you. And so they put you in different scenarios to where that comes out of you. They evoke that from you. And so there was a moment where I was on stage and I was speaking to everyone. And then I asked them a question like, okay, who's going to be our leader for, this little activity that we're doing? And they all looked at me and was like, you, duh. And it was almost like to me, it was a very divine moment, even though it was a split second, but I can just remember it in my body. It felt like it was 2 minutes, but it was really a split second. And that's when I felt that and I knew that. So give yourself permission to say yes to experiences.
And also, y'all, just to put in more simple terms, get out your comfort zone. Stop being scared to do stuff. You know, that's basically what Tiffany's saying. Get out your comfort zone. You can't grow in that box that you were born in. Yep.
Right. And go out there to her website and set up the one-on-one and allow yourself to experience Miss Tiffani in that consultation. And it's so many ways. You got to do something. Like, instead of just saying, I don't know. So what? Now what? You don't know. Now what? As she's saying, allow yourself to experience some of these conferences, the one-on-ones, and getting your circle together, because we all know this old saying from the great Nipsey Hussle. We got Callie on the call. Is if you don't have a circle that's bigging you up, you have a cage. And get out of that cage, that comfort zone of the people you grew up with, the people you surround yourself with. Because if you look at them, if you want to know how it's going to turn out, just look at them people around you. If all of them is living check to check and barely making that, that's you. And if you don't want that, you got to get around powerhouses like Tiffani. So, hey, I got a call. I got a question. Again, I'm coming out. I'm a little off, Tiffani. You gotta you gotta bear with the old man, but no, but seriously, how do you talked about emotional intelligence and spiritual awareness and a lot of different things, but when you step back from the work, and it may not even be considered work, when you step back from the task and everything that you got on your plate, what does Tiffani do to decompress, to have fun, and just still be able to enjoy the experience of life while managing all these different things? Because you definitely doing a lot, but I got to make sure that I'm adopting you as my niecey poo. I need to make sure that you at least add some fun, something to keep you going. So give the young entrepreneurs out there that need that give them something that'll make sure that they realize it ain't just work, man. You actually can enjoy this and have a prosperous life filled with joy and happiness. Because you don't look sad to me. You said cold. They called me like cold, but then I thought of the surgeon, so that made sense. But, how do you keep the smile going? How do you have fun? What does that look like for Tiffani?
Yes. So at this point in my life, every day is fun for me. But before you can get to that point, you have to intentionally create fun. And so I do still also intentionally create fun. And the way that I do that in my life is I do the things that I enjoy the most. And to me, they're I'm so simple. People might not think, but I'm so simple. Simply going outside to being in the sun, reading a book, writing in my journal, listening to music, and having a little dance party with myself. Sometimes I give myself pep talks too. Like, that's fun to me too. Like, whatever I need to hear in that moment, I'm not looking for it from anyone else at this point. Just give it to myself. But I love to travel as well. I love traveling, and I am such an outdoorsy girl. I am outdoorsy, so like ATV riding, hiking, going to the beach, just all those things.
And here it
Singing.
is. I'm stuck in the Midwest.
You're landlocked.
No, that's awesome. Everything that you said has been so spot on with the power of intention, and even with having fun and create. Like, so many people get stuck in this world we live in where it's just doom and gloom. Israel gonna blow up everything. Like, all this, I hate hearing it. And I hate the fact that people focus on all these bad things that are happening. And you got a young powerhouse right here who's learned these things that took me 40 some years to learn. And I'm jealous because I need to rewind and meet Dimitri when I was young, so he can get me right. But hey, I love what you're doing out there, Queen, and I know that you got so much more coming. You just getting started in this game, and I just see you going on so many levels because you're authentic, classy, and elegant in everything that you do, and you're doing it for the people. So we salute you, of course. Like it's I've been mind blown the whole conversation. I've been knowing you for a while, and it's still like just hearing it gives me chill bumps to realize that we in pretty good hands with these Gen Zers. We skipped the millennials. I ain't talking about the millennials, but you Gen Zers, I believe in you all, and you all are doing great things, and it's just refreshing. I'm gonna make sure my daughter follows you too, because she's moving on that level of a powerhouse too, and she's in her 20s. So, shout out to Miss Herron, Lady. It made me think about Lady Heroin on Harlem Nights. Wow. Not Sunshine. Just because your name Heron don't mean you got to sell it. Like that. No. I will quit making fun of you. Hey, it's funny.
No, it's okay.
Like that. That's a childhood. Folks, they ain't got no filters. So.
That's a childhood laugh, because my sister. So, my mom married my dad before I was born, but my brother and sister were 3 and 4 years old. And so they have a last name Gibson. So my sister would always make fun of my last name in the same way that you. So it's okay.
It's good that you can laugh about it. That's what's up. And that's why y'all should follow her. Take her advice. Take her
formula. Dimitri done froze up on
her
froze up on us, Dimitri. You froze like this.
Oh, I did. Oh man, see, that's why I told you to record, man. Hey, y'all. So, hey, listen. Follow the formulas that Miss Tiffani has presented to everybody on this call. She is a very bubbly and friendly and outgoing person over there on the West Coast. So if you're anywhere in her local area, hit her up. She might charge you extra for an in-person meetup, but hey, I'm sure it'll be well worth it. But thank you, Tiffani, once again for giving us your time. And thank y'all for watching this podcast and all the other previous podcasts that we are presenting. And thank you for watching the ones that we will present in the future, because it's only going to get better and better and better from here.
Yes.
Tiffani, before we close, I want to go ahead and open up the floor one last time for any closing remarks, any reminders of any upcoming events that you have going on that you want to tell the people about. And then we'll go ahead and close after that. You have the last word.
My last word is simply to follow your heart. Follow your heart. Let it speak. Let it crack open. And when you do that, everything else simply flows in the way that you most desire it to flow.
Boom. Hey, that is it. Hey,
there it is. That's her in a nutshell. Like,
you have to love that. So if y'all don't like her by now, then you ain't gonna never like her. So and she ain't for you. Yeah. But thank you so much again, Tiffani. Thank you so much for your time. And always remember, everybody, WTF not only means what's the formula, but it also stands for our mantra and our motto, which is winning takes focus. And until next podcast, everybody, stay focused and keep winning. Peace.
Peace, y'all.